It says, Mike made a deposit for $15,239 to his checking account. How much money did Mike deposit rounded to the nearest $10,000? I'm going to read it one more time. Mike made a deposit of $15,239 to his checking account. How much money did Mike deposit rounded to the nearest $10,000? What needs to be highlighted? Leo? What about thousand? What's something else in front of it?
15,239.
Hold on. Leo's letting me know. Thank you, Leo. 15,239. All right, what else needs to be rounded? Go ahead. Yes, Mason. What are we doing? We're rounded to the nearest $10,000. So that $10,000 right here, 10,000 is my focus. So tell me, what am I going to do on my green paper? Natalie. Draw my place value chart. What is my highest place value? 10,000. Thank you. I asked for the place value, not the value. All right, so I'm going to start off with 10,000. What's next? 1,000. Don't forget your comma. Hundreds. Tens. And ones. Now what do I do? I'm going to plug in my number. 15,239. I've plugged in my number. What am I doing after I plug in my number? Anybody know? Yes? Miss Ange? I've already wrote my number down. What's the next thing to do? Nathan? I already have my number line. I've already written it down. Or not my number line. That's my place value chart. Yes?
Underline.
Thank you. Underline what?
10,000.
Underline the 10,000th place. If I'm rounding, I have to figure out what I'm rounding to. So I'm rounding to the 10,000s. That's what I need to underline up here. My 10,000th place. So I've underlined my 10,000th place. What does that tell me? And, thank you, your starting point. This place right here is telling me that this is my starting point. So my starting point for my open number line is this digit in a 10,000th place, right? So what is the value of that number right there?
The value of that number is
10,000, because it's a 1 in a 10,000 and a 10,000th place. So we're gonna go ahead and create our open number line. And what is my starting point?
10,000.
What is my starting point?
5,000.
What is it?
50,000.
Hold on, let Leo process. Not one, you're in the 10,000th place. 10,000, thank you, Leo. 10,000. 10,000. All right, Ms. Banda skipped a few things. I forgot that I did already labeled my place value. I identified my starting point. What is my end point going to be? If my starting is in the 10,000th place, what am I going to end with? Yes? Go ahead. We're counting by what? 10,000. 20,000. That's going to be my end point. 20,000 is going to be my end point. So I have my starting point. I have my end point. What do I have to do next?
Make your midpoint.
Your midpoint. And Natalie, I know you were raising your hand. I'm sorry about that. Natalie, we're going by 10,000. What is half, or what is the midpoint going to be between 10,000 and 20,000? 10,500? Well, think about it. We're counting by 10,000. We're counting by 10,000. So what's half of 10,000? 5,000. So 5,000 plus the 10,000 is
15,000.
15. So what is our midpoint? 15,000. So we're gonna label our midpoint. It's very important for us to label our midpoint because our midpoint is going to let us know what? What is our midpoint going to let us know? It's letting us know the halfway mark. Now remember the rules. If it's in front of the midpoint, what are we doing? We're what? Rounding down. And if it's behind the midpoint over here, we're rounding up. Okay. So now that I have my midpoint, I created my open number line. I have my starting point. I have my end point. I have my midpoint. And now I have to do what? What does that say? Plot. Now we have to plot. Now I have to plot this number, 15,239. Where am I going to plot it? Where am I going to plot it? On this number line. Leo? Where? Right here? Right here? Okay, am I going to plot it to the left or the right of the midpoint? To the left, over here on this side? 15,239 is going to be over here on this side.
No.
No? It's going to be on the right side. Okay, am I going to be closer to 15,000 or 20,000?
20,000.
I'm going to be closer?
No, 15.
Thank you, Nathan. 15,000. So it'll probably be somewhere around here, 15,000, because we have 15,239. So this plot right here is going to be my 15,239. All right. Now, what do I do? Am I rounding up? Why am I rounding up? Because it's what?
On the right side?
It's on the right side of the what?
Of the
Of the midpoint. It's on the right side of the midpoint. So this number is going to be rounded up to
20,000.
20,000. 6,000 was the last question. So 15,239 is going to be rounded up to 20,000. It's going to be rounded up to 20,000. Now remember, our question asked us to round it to the nearest 10,000. So I'm just going to tell you right now, guys, sometimes we get confused and we think that we need to round to the nearest 100 or the nearest 1,000. Be very careful. When the question says what to round it to, for example, here we're rounding it to the nearest 10,000, your answer is either going to be 10,000 or 20,000. It has to be in the 10,000 place. So if you get a question where it's asking you to round to the nearest 1,000, you have to make sure that your answer is also in the thousands place. It cannot be in the hundreds place. All right? So that's somewhere where some of us get a little bit confused. And you'll see that whenever we're working on the UDO questions or we're working on the DOL. Because you'll have both answer choices. So remember, if it's asking you for thousands, make sure your answer's in the thousands. If it's asking you for 10,000, make sure your answer's in the 10,000. You got it? Okay. Now Miss Banda's going to go into the